As said in the previous lecture that ERP is a category of business software which the company usually uses to collect, store, and transmit the information. So while any company or organization is operating, it will have information coming from sources like purchase, and it will have to keep the records of the vendors. It will have to keep the records of the procurement processes, the procurement documents, and the manufacturing of the products has to be documented, and the sales of the product has to be documented. So while any company is working, it will have the different areas like the marketing, the manufacturing, commerce, supply, finance, distribution, and HR, which has to be managed. And there needs to be a software to manage all the functionality of a company, starting from the procurement to the production to the sales to the HR and the employees who are working, and to the management of the project and the salary of the employees. Everything possible in a working organization has to be managed. So there needs to be a software to do that. And most companies will use ERP. And when the company is very small, like the working number of the employees who are working is below 10 or 20 or 50, or the turnover of the company is not large, the company can choose to do that manually in Excel or documenting. But as a company goes larger, there are ERP software, and the companies with higher budget will go with the ERP software with high functionality and features like SAP and Oracle, etc. So some of the top 5 ERP vendors are SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, Infor, and Epicor. So as said, there has to be some key factors which comes under project preparation, and the project preparation deals with the project planning of while selecting any ERP system. So I've listed down some of the key points which every organization considers before purchasing a ERP vendor. An ERP vendor could be SAP, Oracle, Epicor, Salesforce, etc., which will help to manage the ERP system of the company. So let's look into some of the functionalities. So before selecting the ERP system for a company, it needs to have the information about the business process, clear business process of the company, and which software or ERP system could easily simulate or which could be easily accommodated to the business process of the company. Also the reporting requirements and to the extent of reporting requirements of the company, and the extent of detail which the company intends to capture as part of the ERP system will act as a factor or could act as a factor while any company is deciding to purchase any ERP system. The next step is how integrated the company wants its business process to be. While talking in a real life ERP system, the different processes starting from the purchase to the project to the controlling and the finance. So whenever a purchase will happen, it will impact the finance. It will create entries in the general ledgers associated with the inventory or the goods. Again, while the project is being executed, certain reporting needs to be done at the management level, for which the project reporting in form of the commitment which has happened, or the budget of the project, etc., or the planning which has happened, and the budget consumption, the different types of report, or the number of employees who worked on the project. So different kinds of reports needs to be available for the management. So such kind of reporting ability and the integration which is needed, like certain system wants to have automatic payment or the automatic salary of the employees based on the HR master data or the employee records from the ERP system itself. Certain companies wants to pay the vendors automatically from the ERP system itself. So there needs to be an integration between the ERP system and the bank. So such kind of integration and capabilities again will decide which ERP system a company will need. And the next stage, after you have your requirements, you know to what extent you want to spend. The next extent is that while a company goes for the enterprise resource planning, there are different kinds of vendors which are available in the market which will provide the capabilities. And the extent of your company, whether it's a large company, and the requirement of your reporting, the financial reporting purpose. Like if you are trading, if you are a company in India and if you are planning to open another company in a foreign country like Australia or America, then there will be certain financial requirement and the level of the requirement which will be needed to be fulfilled. And it can only be done by implementing certain ERP solutions. So that will also influence the vendor which you will select. And once you have selected the vendor, like if you have selected SAP or Oracle or Salesforce for your ERP implementation, then it could be possible that the same ERP could be directly implemented by the company itself, like SAP or Oracle or Salesforce, or whichever ERP company which you are choosing could directly come to you and they could implement it for you. Or the other scenario is that you could purchase the software from this company and somebody else, like a third client or an IT service company, could come and implement the ERP system for you. So that's another scenario. Or you could have an in-house team of IT developers of software. You could hire certain software consultants who are specialized in the ERP system, and you could form an in-house team and you could collaborate with the software vendor and you could implement the ERP solution. So that's one way of implementing the ERP solution. Again, there could be different stages of negotiation which will happen to finalize the cost or the budget of the ERP. And all this happens based on the level of enhancement or level of detail which you want to have. And during this phase, there could be multiple service providers who could be selected. So ERP implementation usually is a long process, and it will include, like for large companies, the implementation process usually could span years, and for small companies, it could be implemented within a span of 3 to 6 months. And for large companies, it could be implemented from span of 1 to 2 years. And while the ERP is being implemented, most of the companies will have certain method of recording their data. And it could be an old ERP or it could be an indigenous system which the company has developed. And while the ERP implementation is having, there needs to be a migration of data from the old system to the new system. So such kind of factors also need to be accounted as the system which is most capable or most suitable to the current ERP system which the company has, and will be easily be able to migrate to the new system. And once the system is implemented and there is a phase of go live, as I have discussed the ERP implementation steps or the ASAP methodology. Again, the system will be implemented and it will be live or it will be available to use for the end users. And for people who are new and people who don't know much about the ERP, or people who are just coming to this video as learning this, so for them, the end users will be the final people who will be using the ERP software. So if there is a manufacturing company, then if you take the example of the purchase department, so the person who is sitting at the stores department who will be entering the goods receipt or who will be creating the purchase requisition will be the end user. The example of end user who will be using this ERP software. And there will be a support team which can be indigenous of the company itself who has hired the consultants, or which could be a service company which the company has hired to provide the service. So while the ERP system is being operated for large ERP systems where the number of users could be in thousands, while the system is being operated by the end users, the system may not work, or the end user may make certain mistakes and certain processes may get halted, or there may be certain service tickets, or there may be certain support tickets which will be generated, or certain issues which happen and which needs to be solved. So you will need to a support team to take care, and also you will need a development team. So if there are certain bugs, like something has got wrong or something has got stuck and it can't be solved by the support team, and there is a bug or technical fault in the system that needs to be solved by the technical team, and even after the ERP system is implemented, there's possible that new business process has happened, the company has opened a new plant, so there will be rollouts will be happening as per the new plans, or a new business process has happened, a company is going to manufacture a new product a new way. So in such kind of scenarios, again you will need certain enhancement or certain configurations which need to be done. So even after the implementation, you will need to take care of those factors. That's all. If you like this video, please do subscribe, like and comment. Also to watch other videos in this series.